Hey, have you ever wondered how some of your favorite fitness influencers, athletes, and then young people are able to get away with eating copious amounts of food and still maintaining high levels of cleanness? Well, if you are, and you want to apply those same tactics that they use for their aesthetic physiques, then stick to the end of this video and I'm going to share with you the secrets on what they do to maintain that level of athleticism. My name is Day. I'm a personal trainer and nutrition coach. Been doing so for the better part of 7 years, and I love what I do. My biggest want to is to empower you guys with some practical bits, some sound bites that are going to help you move the needle forward in the direction that you're trying to go in your own journey for health and fitness. And currently, we're going to be talking about some of these tactics that the fitness elite use to maintain their level of leanness and athleticism year round, mind you, while still ain't eating quote unquote crappy foods, right? So let's go back to the basis. The average individual walks around with the misconception that a plate full of greens and veggies with a bunch of chicken breast, broccoli, and rice is the way to go to get to stereotypical leanness. And the reason why most people never reach this goal is, for one, that idea sucks, right? Like, no one wants to eat like that year round. And for the few that break out the mold and the curve and are able to toss away their habits and lifestyle and say, I'm gonna eat not for pleasure, but I'm just gonna eat for like function and gain, power to you. This video isn't for you, or maybe it is. And if you want to find a more sustainable way of doing what you're setting out to do, but keep listening. The first main thing, though, that these individuals have going for them is a high level of activity. So as kids, as children, no one is really talking about food. No one's talking to you about calories. You're kind of just eating and enjoying what you're eating. And on average, it works. You look at the norm for kids that are placed in athletics or doing something extracurricular, and they're moving, they're jumping, they're running, they're playing, they're using their bodies, and they don't really need to be mindful of quote unquote what they put into their bodies. I put brackets around that because yes, I'm pretty sure there's a measure of control for healthy eating, but they can get away with a lot more, right? And two things I should say that they have going on for them is that they're growing at an alarming rate. That is a big thing not to overlook. Youth helps. I won't act like it doesn't. But on the second note, their movement and their activity is leaps and bounds more than the sedentary lifestyle that happens in the high school, college, and then working years that proceed later in life. And that's ideally where you guys are at who are watching me now. You are more sedentary in your lifestyle. So tip and trick number one that they use to get away with eating pizza and burgers and fries and all the crap that's quote unquote makes you fat. Move a lot. How much is a lot? 10K steps is a magic number. Works really, really well. With high levels of movement comes a high level of caloric burn. So you can do this kind of like turn and burn thing where you're consuming calories, and as you consume the calories, you're burning the calories that you've consumed at equal proportion, so nothing really happens to your physique and weight. If anything, if you're doing the right stimulus and you're lifting weight, then something really freaky happens. You start eating like crap and you start building muscle, right? I got a story to tell you about that moving forward, but that's number one, move more. Number two, in the segues, build more muscle. You can, oh my gosh, bro. Let me give you all a story, right? So, like I said, I'm a personal trainer. I have this client of mine. I'm not gonna name, but I'll just say this. Client is in the older age bracket, and they have a fair amount of lean tissue on their frame, and they move a lot. There's no other way to say it. By all means, they are breaking the average and the norm. And when I tell you regularly coming with Chick-fil-A, Sonic, freaking candy, sugary drinks like no one's galore, but visible abs year round. There's something to be said about high levels of activity combined with high levels of muscularity. There's nowhere else to say it, that lets you get away with a lot more. So for you ladies and gentlemen who want to eat the food you want and you don't want to feel a way about it, lift some weights. It makes room for you. And the cool thing about it, the weight training is going to create a stimulus. That stimulus that you supply to your body is going to tell the body, hey, take these excessive amount of calories, all this excess nutrition, and transfer it, if you will, use it to create and mend new tissues, muscle specifically. So if that wasn't encouragement enough to lift some weights, then I don't really know what will. All right, last thing, number 3. There's this thing called BMR, basal metabolic rate. For most of y'all, this is gonna be like the last step. A bigger person, I'll say this on average, right? For BMR, a bigger person can get away with a lot more than a smaller person. No, just be candid like that. If I have 2 individuals, same level of activity, same level of movement, say it's sedentary, they don't do a lot, and I take a 240-pound person and I compare them to a 160-pound person, guess who can eat more food? You guessed it. If you said 240-pound person, you'd be correct. That person can get away with a heck of a lot more food. And let's say they're taller too, right? Just keep it even. That person can get away with a lot more food than the 160-pound person. Why? There's this concept called BMR, is the set point or the minimal amount of calories and energy that you need to maintain your size and leanness, just for like general health, right? So big person can eat more because they're bigger. Small person can eat less because they're smaller. And with this lovely thing of being a bigger person, being able to eat more, that eat more is not relative to anything. That eat more could be burgers. That eat more could be fries. That eat more could be pizza. It could be pasta. It could be whatever the heck you want. Because at the end of the day, a calorie is a calorie. Now, what it does to your body long term is different. But what it does to your weight on the micro or short term, it's inconsequential. Let's say it like that, right? It's not going to do anything. If I had 500 calories worth of ice cream versus 500 calories worth of chicken, from an energy standpoint, they do the same thing. From an internal standpoint, from a muscle building standpoint, thermic standpoint, they are doing very different things. But keep that in mind. It is a calorie game, y'all. And if you stay within your calories, please don't ban me for this, nutrition coaches and dietitians and fitness people galore, but you can eat what you want. And it is that simple. So those are my 3 main takeaways for you. If you made it to the end of the video, you're dope. If you can, guys, I promise English my first language. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Share this with someone who needs it. If you found this valuable, please like and subscribe. It helps me develop and grow this. I'm loving getting to share content and this floats in my brain with y'all. So if you like it, let me know you do. And I'll see you guys next video. Peace.